severe, but luckily we do clear out before the weekend.
Still to come, slashing money for instruction and transportation. A $500 million budget for Richmond County schools under the microscope when First at 5 continues.
Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, News 12, First at 5, continues.
Parents are silent at 2 public hearings about the Richmond County school budget, and only one member speaks up as the board plans to cut funds for instruction and transportation.
Also had more growth in Columbia County. One developer hoping to build a housing community that offers something a little different.
But first, the heat is not letting up anytime soon. Not a whole lot of relief in sight. And on top of that, we are tracking the chance for some storms tomorrow.
And even this
location as we continue towards sunset. Have a look at a first alert in effect again on Friday just after the break.
The Richmond County Board of Education is only a few days away from adopting a budget for the upcoming school year. Federal dollars not as plentiful as last year, and that means some departments won't be getting as much.
This comes after our I-Team's Liz Owens uncovered nearly 3,000 students missing from Richmond County classrooms during the 2021-22 school year. So Liz, what does this all mean?
The board expects revenue to drop about $47 million this school year, and that's because there's less federal money. That's that ARP money. They voted to cut funds from several departments because of it, including $29 million from instruction and $5 million from transportation. Other departments will get an increase, like the $700,000 set aside for consultants for the Director of Teaching and Learning. Dr. Wayne Frazier was the only board member who voted against the budget. His explanation to why he was voting no caused a ruckus among other BOE members last week.
That with D's and F's academically from the state, where we can find money to build brand new schools and whatever else we need, but we can't make enough money. Since I'm making a statement, you are out of order. No, sir, you are out of order because this board has said we will not criticize the board. Mr. President, sir, you're out of line.
That, by the way, was not the chairman of the board calling him out of order. The board will adopt the new budget on Tuesday. Now coming up at 6 o'clock, I'll break down that budget so parents pay attention.
Liz, thanks very much. We appreciate the update. Happening right now, a live look from Augusta Tech, where that podium is empty now, but Augusta's Mayor Hardy Davis is set to give his final State of the City address.
He says he plans to highlight successes and look ahead to plans for the rest of this year and the rest of his term. We'll listen in as soon as Mayor Davis speaks.
And as Mayor Davis closes his term in office, a couple of other candidates are competing for that seat. Garnett Johnson, Stephen Kendrick, both want your vote in that runoff happening right now. You can watch our full interviews with both candidates. They're up on our website, wrdw.com. Tomorrow is your final chance to vote early in that runoff election. Richmond County polls open from 8:30 in the morning until 6 in the evening at the Municipal Building, the Robert Howard Community Center, and the Warren Road Rec Center. Election Day comes up on Tuesday. You can cast your ballot then from 7 until 7, normal hours. Just make sure you're going to the correct precinct.
Developers are hoping to build a new retirement community in Columbia County.
Alyssa Lyons joins us here in the studio to show us what's in the works there and what's different about this one.
That's exactly right. This plan calls for 107 acres of land by Old Pierre Place and Clinton Road to be rezoned from a residential to a planned residential development, all to create what Columbia County Planning calls the first of its kind. More than 107 acres of land with almost 200 planned plots, exclusively for those over 55. A need the development company says has been relatively untapped in the CSRA.
They want some flexibility in their lifestyle, but necessarily don't want to be surrounded by families, by small children and everything like that.
The U.S. Census recorded the 65-plus age group was the fastest growing between 2010 and 2020. They make up about 14% of the county's population. The same developers built Whispering Pines next door and saw a need to target this demographic.
We structured this for active adults, so we got the walking trails, pickleball courts, we have the community garden area, we have the pond, we've got a gazebo that sits over a beautiful overlook.
With all the bells and whistles, it makes for a pretty hefty price tag.
These homes will probably start in the $340, $350 range. It's a step up on it is extremely difficult to build affordable housing, especially today with the material prices.
And though they're just at the beginning stages, they know pushback is possible.
You know, it's always what kind of traffic impacts you're going to have. You're not going to have kids, so you're not going to have the impact on the school system. Columbia County stormwater is the #1 issue they get from residents. It has a structured drainage system for each lot.
They say with age comes wisdom, and this developer is also hoping it comes with peace. And now on the next step in the process, the plan will go before the Columbia County Planning Commission on July 7th for rezoning.
What's interesting, Alyssa, thanks. Still to come, a wrongful death settlement repurposed. How the sons of Murdaugh's former housekeeper are keeping her memory alive. That's ahead when First at 5 continues.
And we do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings just around the CSRA. We'll take a look at these threats continuing into this evening just after break.
Jensen Crawford on the line. Call 999-9999.
As a prosecutor, Charlie Bailey fought gun violence. You know how important that issue is to me. It's why Stacey Abrams and I are proud to endorse Charlie Bailey for Lieutenant Governor, to keep fighting for our family.
A family struggling to fix their home after a big tree came down last night.
As severe thunderstorms passed through, Susan in St. Jean heard a loud crack as she was making dinner, and then she heard 4 more before the tree fell through the roof. She says she and her 2 sons rushed to the basement first, and then they ran for cover outside.
And I saw a shadow come in front of the window, and so I backed up, and then the tree came in and fell against the kitchen window. It was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. It sounded like the house was going to come down.
Her family just moved with her mother temporarily until they can actually repair that house because it does have some damage to the roof there. She says the storm was so bad last night. There was some heavy wind there, some hail as well. So sometimes the severe weather really does turn out to be damaging.
Yeah, and we're seeing these pop-up storms that can turn severe pretty quickly right now in these hot afternoons, Riley.
Absolutely. During the summer months, each storm that pops up just has the capability of producing those strong wind gusts, even hail, which is sometimes counterintuitive. You think it's the summer months, you don't necessarily have ice falling from the sky, but it does happen with these storms, and we actually do have a couple of those severe thunderstorm warnings just outside of the.
Breaking news to pass along, Atlanta has just been chosen as the host city for the 2026 World Cup. FIFA just making that announcement in the past half hour.
It is huge news. Twitter is lighting up as we speak over this. U.S. Soccer says a host city could make upwards of $480 million during the 2026 World Cup. FIFA expected to pick 16 host cities today. They're looking at 10 in the U.S., 3 each in Canada and Mexico. But Atlanta, named today, there were 23 venues total, hoping for a chance to host, and Atlanta got the call just in the last few minutes.
Very cool. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, no doubt, a fantastic new shiny venue for that game to take place.
A great venue for soccer. I've seen a soccer match over there, and it was so interesting sitting there and hearing several languages swirling around my one seat.
Yeah.
So soccer is a very big deal.
Atlanta's become a hot soccer town.
Even though the Southeast is still warming up to it.
Yeah, I mean, the games sell out. Atlanta United is hot stuff, so excited to see that for Atlanta in the Peach State. Also, just into the newsroom in the past half hour, we're learning the Supreme Court of South Carolina ordered Alec Murdaugh to appear before the court next Wednesday over his pending disbarment hearing. The court cited statements Murdaugh has already made in court in Hampton County related to the theft of money from his former law firm and clients, including the family of Gloria Satterfield.
And the family of Murdaugh's former housekeeper is hoping something good can come out of that tragedy. They're announcing a new nonprofit, Gloria's Gift Foundation, to benefit families there in Hampton County.
Gloria Satterfield was the Murdaugh family housekeeper before she died in a trip and fall accident in one of their estates. As Blair Sable tells us, they want her to be remembered as so much more.
Gloria Satterfield. It's a name that's been heard many times before, alongside reports of Alec Murdaugh's alleged fraud schemes. But now her family wants people to know who she was. Not just a housekeeper for the disgraced former lawyer or what happened after her death, but who she was as a person, a mother, a friend, a lover of her home here in Hampton County, and a woman of God. A new nonprofit founded in her name will provide gifts and meals for families on Christmas, one of Satterfield's favorite holidays. Both the family and their lawyers, Eric Bland and Ronnie Richter, contributed the first donations Thursday with 2 checks totaling $75,000.
Our family has shed so many tears this past year, and to be certain, we have been betrayed,
let down and very saddened. After having fought the good fight for justice, we choose now to shift on the focus to making sure the glorious lasting legacy will not be that of a victim, but will indeed that be of a champion of love and charity.
Now, this all follows a big victory for the family who reached a $4.3 million settlement earlier this month in their wrongful death lawsuit against Murdoch.
And just to bring you up to speed in case you missed this, earlier this month, investigators with SLED say they've gotten permission from family members to exhume Satterfield's body. And at the time, they said that process could take weeks.
If you're looking for a cool little coffee shop, and who's not, you probably wanted to have Wi-Fi.
Absolutely.
Coming up, how to find free Wi-Fi with an app you probably already have.
The live.
If you'll be traveling this summer, and we hope you are, you're going to be looking for things to do, places to see, and one of the things we all need these days, that solid connection to the internet. If you have kids, it's a must.
We
right?
are tethered to that good Wi-Fi, and there are free Wi-Fi networks all around us, of course, but they can still be hard to find. Jimmy Tucker shows us an app you probably already have on your phone that can tell you everything you need to know.
If you're visiting a town for the first time, how do you know where to find free Wi-Fi? How do you know where to find the right Wi-Fi network that's safe? Because you know it isn't always safe to hop on just any Wi-Fi network that shows up on your phone. One could compromise everything on your computer. Facebook, though, has a free tool most people don't know about. It's in the Facebook app. Just open it wherever you are on your phone, go to the menu, and look for Settings and Privacy. There you will see Find Wi-Fi. Using your location, Facebook shows you all of the nearby free Wi-Fi networks. It's incredibly useful if you're visiting somewhere new. My search here found over a dozen restaurants, coffee shops, and other businesses with free Wi-Fi. Tap on one to get details and directions. You'll also see the name of the legitimate Wi-Fi network so you will know it's safe. You can also use Facebook's Find Wi-Fi ahead of time. Say you're going to be staying at a hotel in downtown San Francisco. You can plan ahead. Just move the Facebook map and search. So how does Facebook know this information? It's from businesses that have a Facebook business page and have included their Wi-Fi network name on their page. So it isn't exhaustive. You're not going to find every free Wi-Fi network in the area, but if you really have to get on the internet and need a good cup of coffee, Facebook's free tool can certainly help you find it. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
And some providers are offering this too. I know I've checked out the Xfinity one where you can see hotspots all over town, but they say one drawback about the Facebook Wi-Fi is that you'll need to give Facebook permission to see your exact location whenever you're using that app.
And it's also not available using Facebook on a computer browser. It only works using the app.
Also today, just yesterday, the FDA's vaccine advisors approving the use of the Moderna and Pfizer COVID vaccines for kids under 5. That means vaccines are one step closer to approval, and if all the regulatory steps are cleared, the shots could be available coming next week. So today, we're hearing from experts with the Children's Hospital at MUSC over on the coast about what parents need to know now. One doctor says there are 3 children hospitalized over there with COVID complications. The FDA approval of the vaccine may help other kids avoid getting severely sick.
Remember, the goal of vaccination, and I'm sure Dr. Atz will reiterate this, but is to prevent death and hospitalizations. It's certainly a nice side product. It is that it reduces the incidence of infection as well, but the goal, just like with all vaccines, is to reduce serious illness and death.
And Dr. Mack predicts there may be another surge of cases soon, so she says it's a good idea to get that vaccine for the kids. She's looking forward to getting children in a safer place from this pandemic.
The 2022 U.S. Open is underway. John Rahm looking to become the first repeat champion since Brooks Koepka in 2017 and 2018.
Sports Director Nick Proto live in the studio now with an update including a local face near the top of that famous leaderboard.
All the talk this week's been about the LIV Tour versus the PGA Tour, but now that the strokes start to count, we're seeing some new storylines unfold in the 2022 U.S. Open, one of them involving North Augusta's own Matt NeSmith. NeSmith playing in just his second career major. His first one was the U.S. Open back in 2015. He knocked this one in on hole 8 for birdie. That brought him to 2 under. NeSmith had 3 birdies and 1 bogey on the day for a 2 under 68. He was tied for the lead for a while, but finished his round a shot back at the of the leaders. Rory McIlroy carrying the momentum in his win from last week. He finished the round 2 under, which put him, 3 under, which put him just off the lead. And here's a look at the leaderboard now. Still got some groups out there on the course. Adam Hadwin leading the way after 11 holes. The Canadian has a one-shot lead on the field. Not seeing any live guys on the leaderboard. Plenty of PGA Tour guys, though. We got another update coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Also coming up this evening, the final round of the Vaughn Taylor Championship. Augusta's own Hamilton Coleman was tied for 5th coming into the day. We'll hear from him and have the final results in the next half hour. See you back here then.
All right, thanks for that update, Nick. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Edgefield, Aiken, and Saluda County until 6:30 p.m. Quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour gusts. We'll have an update again just after the break.
Let's have a conversation.
A South Carolina Police Department's newest member will be the county's first Comfort K9 once he finishes his training. This is Horry County's King Griffin, or Finn for short. Just like his co-workers, the 5-month-old Wrdw has to earn his badge. Right now, he's in the early stages of a year-long training. It'll prepare him to work with victims at crime scenes and during police interviews. But
Nice.
yeah, it's certainly a way to set you at ease a little bit.
Not exactly a fierce police dog, and that's,
Right,
that's
yeah.
by design.
I think, yeah, they want him to be a little fluffier, a little less teeth.
Perfect.
Not so toothy.
Absolutely. Looks like a good pup there. And we do have a